ways to advance the story. Type the gray pre-written text into the chat if Amy is responding, and press the send button or enter to send it. Alternatively, you can press the double arrow to autofill the text. Okay. Lights off with headphones. That's right, Alexa. Turn off my lights. Cool. This story is a warning. You could be next. Sometimes I wonder why they keep the convenience store open that long. Just like last night and the night before, barely any customers came. Whatever, as long as I get paid. Looks like it started raining right when I got home. Guess I was lucky. Can't open the window and let fresh air in without getting my laptop wet, though. Alright. How should I kill time tonight? The big disadvantage of being awake when everyone else was asleep was that I had no one to chat with after getting home. Sometimes I'd play random games I'd find on the internet or watch some movie, unproductive stuff. Which is probably a bad habit considering I still hadn't figured out what direction to take my life in. Let me just put on some music first. This is the perfect soundtrack for a chill, rainy night. An email? I barely ever get any emails. The store manager usually contacts me via SMS and my friends via full chat. Huh? It's an email by Blaze Marktree. I haven't heard that name in forever. Blaze is an old classmate of mine. He was the smartest in our grade. No, probably the whole school. He also generally kept people at arm's length. I barely knew anything about him because of that. Why was he sending me an email? Dear Amy Waterfield, my name is Blaze Marktree. You might remember me from our shared time at school. Recently, a couple of past classmates and I decided that it would be a great idea to catch up with everyone. This might serve as a great opportunity to reforge connections and learn more about the paths everyone has taken. Ideally, this could result in an in-person reunion in the future. I have linked an invitation to a group chat that we created and invited all classmates to below. Note that you will need to install a free piece of chat software called Full Chat to participate. Don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Yours sincerely, Blaze Marktree. This mail was oddly formal for an invitation to a class reunion chat. The way Blaze had worded it made it seem more like a business opportunity. Either way, this sounded like a great idea. The only person I had kept in touch with since leaving school was my best friend Liv. Generally, I did enjoy my time at school, and most people in my class were pretty cool. I'd also love to know what they're currently doing. Maybe they could give me some ideas for my future. Alright, it's settled. Time to join the group chat. Not that anyone would be online at this time of night. Seems like 3 other people aside from me have joined the chat so far. Blaze, someone called Gigi, and someone called Mike. Mike? I'm gonna just call him Mike. I don't know how to pronounce that. Mike? Mike? Oh, Blaze is writing something. Seems like he's still awake after all. Hello, Amy. It is nice to see you here. You are one of the first to join this group chat aside from us 3, who came up with the idea for this class reunion project. The purpose of this group chat is to catch up with our past classmates and to reforge connections. Let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Gee, you're the only one I know who writes such long paragraphs in full chat. And wasn't all of that information already in your email? It never hurts to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Also, I would recommend spelling it email, as it is a compound made up of words, electronic and mail. You don't write e-business or e-learning either, do you? I don't like this guy. Anyway, it's nice to meet you again, Amy. Ooh, I can type. Oh, it doesn't actually count. I thought I would autofill it. Whatever. Nice to meet you as well. I have to admit that I'm not fully sure whose name belongs to who, though. I told you using your full name as your chat name, or at least your first name, just like Amy, would make things a lot easier. But Gigi sounds way cuter. Wee woo. Anyway, I'm Angie. We hung out one time, if you still remember. Now that she mentioned it, we did hang out once. We weren't particularly close, though. Angie was someone who got along with everyone in our class, and who was always surrounded by a bunch of other girls. It was the same when we went shopping. She invited me directly, and I wasn't sure how to decline. Initially, I assumed we would go with a few people, but we ended up as a group of 15. Hanging out with so many people at once was a bit much. I didn't dislike Angie, though. I think I generally enjoy hanging out with her one-on-one. And you might know Mike as Mike. Oh, hey, I said it right. Don't mind his frequent typographical errors. You'll have to get used to them. Hello. He's a bit shy, but he'll open up to you in no time. Hi, Mike. I'm not sure, but I don't think we interacted much during our time at school, did we? I don't think so. Mike didn't have too big of a presence, so I'm not surprised that you don't remember him. Only because he was shy, though. He was really good at sports. If he had been less timid, he would have likely been very popular. You three seem close. Were you friends back in school? I don't remember seeing them hanging out together. Kind of. It was Angie's fault. Don't make it sound like a bad thing. I noticed that Blaze and Mike always hung out alone, so I befriended them. We ended up hanging out frequently, and our friendship lasted beyond school. I wasn't good at making friends. I probably would have been fine alone, but it was still nice to have people I could share my thoughts with. Aww. It was, by the way, also Angie's idea to create this group reunion chat. Mike and I ended up being dragged into it. Angie tends to be pretty disorganized, so I figured they'd need me to handle the administrative side. And I guess reforging contacts, just in case they come in handy later. Isn't a bad idea either. I joined because I was hoping that I could get to know my classmates properly, since I missed out on that when I was still in school. I noticed you became more outgoing recently, Mike. I think that's great. So, what have you all been up to after leaving school? I'll start! This might come off as a bit of a surprise, but I've been working in software development. This was a surprise indeed. Angie was very open about herself to anyone who would listen, but I had never heard of her being into tech. I personally think that there's no reason to keep your love for programming a secret back then, Angie. Yeah, it wasn't anything bad after all. Well, I thought it'd make me seem weird or something. Hee. Well, my past suspicions are sometimes being confirmed, unfortunately. There are some colleagues and clients at my company that make snarky comments. They're just being poo-poo heads, don't mind them. Yeah, we know how skilled you are at what you do. Thanks, guys! I just with the little finger guns. I'm glad I was able to talk about my hobby with you two back then, at least. That was probably the reason why we got so close in the first place. Can you imagine to my surprise, Amy, when Blaze came up to me out of the blue and told me that he knew that I was into programming? I totally thought he was about to blackmail me. ... Turns out, he's just really smart and wanted to confirm his suspicions. Didn't make any sense to keep it a secret from Blaze and Mike after that. So I just poured my heart out about all the nerdy stuff I couldn't talk about with anyone to them. Bit off topic, but that emoji you use gives me heartburn. Yes, it looks quite odd. I think it's cute. Anyways, you're next, Mike. You'll be surprised to hear what Mike has been up to, Amy. Actually, how about you guess first? I don't know Mike at all, so I wasn't sure how I was supposed to guess his current job. All I knew about him was that he was into sports back in school. Something with sports? I knew you'd guess that. It's probably a weird jump from sports, but I work with animals. I enjoyed sports in school, but I also really liked biology. I also always felt less awkward about around animals than humans. I mean, same. So I ended up studying zoology and became a keeper. That's really cool. So you still work at a zoo? Yeah, it's really fun. I actually forgot to account for that I'd have to work with other people even when working at a zoo. But my coworkers are really cool, and thanks to them, I became a little more sociable. Which is why I hope I to to get to know my classmates properly now. Alright. Anyways, I probably wrote too much. Your turn, Blaze. Blaze's story is probably more interesting. I see, my time has come then. I knew early on that I wanted to study and practice law. I figured it would be an adequate challenge and prove to be a fulfilling career path. After some research, I concluded that one of the best options for me was Yale University in the United States of America. It has a fairly low acceptance rate, but I wasn't too worried. Currently, I'm in my last semester. Do you have any further questions? That sounds great. What is America like? Oh, I guess we're like in Europe or something. Well, it's hard to generalize as this is a very big country, but what impressed me was the contrast between the big cities and the more rural areas of America. I also really like spending time at the parks. They're very pleasant. I forgot to ask earlier, but have you made friends there? I'd love to get to know them. I don't know why Gigi's got her own voice, but I did it. He's not replying. That's probably a reply in of itself. Blaze did always have trouble making friends because of how unapproachable he made himself. I don't need any friends in America. I can just hang out online with you. Aw, that's sweet. You know, Amy Blaze may seem very unfriendly and pedantic, but he's actually very nice. He always helped me with anything if I needed any help, and not just with studying. Yeah, he's a bit of a tsundere. What's a tsundere? You know, someone who seems cold or harsh, but gets warm and kind as you get to know them. The one who says, "It's not like I like you or anything, baka." I would never say that. Sure. I wasn't following this conversation at all. Their replies just made me more confused. I mean, yeah. Anyway, what about you, Amy? What have you been doing? Nothing as interesting as you three. I'm working at a convenience store to bridge time until I'm sure of what I want to do long term. No worries, I'm sure you'll figure it out soon enough. Yeah, it took me some thinking to find out that I want to be a keeper. There's no rush. I wouldn't recommend wasting too much time either, though. You shut up, Blaze. But I guess there's nothing wrong with you taking your time to make sure that you choose the right career path for you. They were a bit of an odd bunch, but they all seemed like very nice people overall. Well, Blaze still seemed a bit stuck up, but I trust Angie's and Mike's assessments of him. They knew him way longer than I did. My stomach is rumbling. Right, I still hadn't eaten anything since coming home. I will be AFK for a bit. I'll make myself something to eat. See you in a bit. Wave goodbye. I should get something too. Be back in a bit. Okay. Alright, so my assessments so far. Angie seems fun and annoying. Blaze, too stuck up. And Mike, honestly, best job ever. Alright. A software developer, a zookeeper, and a lawyer. They had all chosen really interesting career paths. I can't help but feel bad about my lack thereof. I have no idea about programming, and it seems too tough for me anyway, so I guess that wouldn't work for me. I'm allergic to animal hair, so zookeeper would likely be out of the question. I'm also not smart enough to become a lawyer. What am I good at? Stocking shelves? Oh well, I'll figure it out eventually. Maybe they can give me some tips later. For now, I'll warm up some leftover risotto. That should improve my mood. How late is it now? 3 a.m. There's still time left until Liv wakes up. I wonder how well she remembers Angie, Blaze, and Mike. Now that I think about it, how come the three of them are still awake? Maybe I should ask them when I'm back at my laptop. Yeah, why are you awake at 3 a.m.? That's apparently really weird, you know? Here we go. I'm back with food and renewed motivation. Are my headphones broken? The music sounds weird. Oh well, I was planning on buying new ones soon anyways. The music is still listenable, just sounds a bit distorted. I'll manage. Let's see what they've been chatting about while I was gone. I'm trying to listen to the music now that she seems a little slower. Apparently nothing. They probably have their own group chat. Right, I wanted to ask them how come they're still awake. I'm back! Welcome back! Welcome back. Hello again. I've been wondering, how come you're all still awake? It's still early evening here in America, so it's a time zone difference in my case. I have tomorrow off, and I usually like staying up late when I don't have to wake up early the next day. I also might have had too much coffee and can't sleep. I had a late night shift at the zoo, currently transitioning to be a night keeper. I had a late shit at the zoo. That's an embarrassing typo. This is why I tell you to double check your messages before sending them. Hung out with some of the owls, they're chill. Not a fan of the scorpions though, they're active at night and scurry around. Scorpions! It's the same for me. I also work the late shift and stay up for a few hours after getting home. The main reason why I stay up after my night shift is so I can chat with Liv before going to sleep. Liv gets up very early, so that's usually the best time to catch up with her online. She probably got Blaze's invitation as well. I assume she'll join as well once she's awake. Hi, I have an idea. How about we each tell an embarrassing secret? That way we can get to know each other better. That sounds like a dumb idea. I'm not sure about this. I don't think I'd be able to come up with anything interesting. And I also don't feel like sharing secrets with half strangers. Even if they're past classmates. I guess it's fine. Please don't cry. Alright, if Mike thinks it's okay, then I guess I'll play along. No worries, Amy. You can just pass or tell us something general about yourself. We don't know you that well, so that'll be totally fine. Alright then. I guess I'll just tell him something random about myself rather than an actual secret. Alright, I'll go first since I proposed it. You already know about my love for programming when I was at school, so that's not much of a secret anymore. Instead, I'll tell you about something else. This is probably not something unnormal, but I sometimes feel jealous of other people. I guess I don't like this about myself because I don't want to have negative thoughts about others. This especially happens when people openly share things that they're passionate about. Probably because I never got to talk about my hobby openly. Thank you for sharing. Don't worry, feeling jealous sometimes is normal. I agree. How do you deal with these feelings is what is important. You go next, Blaze. I'm still thinking. Alright then, I'll share with you the worst day of my life. Dramatic pause. I gotta see what's in grade school. I guess coming from Blaze, this is a big confession. You'll never understand my pain. But Ev, I'm next. Blaze and Angie already know, but it might be a surprise for you, Amy. When I was in school, well, I did sports and took care of what I ate. But since finishing school, I kind of abandoned sports and I'm not as careful about eating healthy. So I've gained some weight, meaning I don't look much how I used to. The keeper job is physically demanding, but not enough to level out my love for food. I don't think this is really a problem as long as it doesn't affect your health in a major way. Yeah, and there's definitely women out there who are into chubby but underneath muscular guys. Anyway, your turn, Amy. Mike working at the zoo reminded me of something. It's not much of a secret though. I'd never be able to work at the zoo because of my animal hair allergy. You spelled allergy wrong. I want a different character to play as. She spelled something wrong. Oh, she just sneezed. But on top of that, I'm also allergic to iguanas. How do you find out that allergy? How do you even find out something like that? It's a long story. I'd love to hear about it when we meet in person for the reunion. Anyway, my turn again. I guess I can tell you somewhat of a follow-up to my last submission. There was one time when I felt especially jealous. It was someone I... Hello? Did anyone else hear that? Alright. It was someone I knew who was into sprinting. Like, Angie, you in my house sprinting around? She was really passionate about it, and it was the topic of most of our conversations. My attempts at changing the topic were usually unsuccessful. She was really good at running and definitely would have become a successful athlete. It was a bit painful to listen to her speak about her hobbies openly while being reminded that I couldn't talk about my own. But I feigned a smile every time we talked and tried not to let it faze me. Eventually, I had to find a way to vent so I wouldn't explode, though. Well, I did something that I'm definitely not proud of. I ended up putting tacks into her running shoes. Oh. That was unexpected. I always saw Angie as a really kind person. I never expected her to resort to that, but I guess everyone has their dark side. And it seems like Angie was regretting it, so I guess you do stupid stuff when you're younger. I mean, yeah, half of the stuff I did when I was younger I would never do now, because I have common sense now. But when you're a kid, you don't have that common sense, you just want to do stupid shit. Alright, back to Blaze. I assume it's my turn then. This time I'll recount something that might be more interesting to you. Don't forget to split up your messages so it's easier to read. Alright then, I'll try. Yeah, why is it easier to read like individual messages like how Gigi was sending them compared to Blaze writing his little paragraph? Like, I don't even want to read that. I get lost in it. Alright, you better try, bro. I don't want to read no paragraphs. Alright then, I'll try. When I was very young, I knew someone who went on my nerves more than anyone else. He was lazy, got bad grades, was vulgar, and overall was an unpleasant person. He would always follow me around, trying to befriend me, no matter how much I declined. Until something happened on a school trip. We had to go hiking on a mountain, and I, being not very fit, hung back. And since the boy, to my detriment, wanted to hang out with me, he hung back as well. He kept passionately talking my ear off about something irrelevant. I don't remember what exactly. Well, he distracted himself so much that he slipped and toppled over the edge. He managed to grab a root that was protruding out off the cliffside. Apparently, due to shock, he wasn't able to cry out for help. All he could do was gasp in desperation. The teacher and the other kids ahead of us hadn't heard what happened and kept walking on. There were several things I could have done at that moment. I could have grabbed his hand, or I could have cried out to the teacher, but I didn't do anything. All I could think of at that moment was how little would be lost if the boy were to disappear. Ooh. What did you do, bro? Okay. So I continued walking, pretending that I didn't notice. The boy was found dead at the foot of the mountain not too long after. The teacher shouldered the responsibility as she was supposed to watch us. But I knew I was at fault. I still remember his face when he mouthed for help without getting a single word out, tears in his eyes. That's heavy. Jeff is step up from the story about you getting a C. Is this really something he should be openly sharing with me? This is very serious. I guess it wasn't like Blaze actively killed him, and Blaze is still young, but that is still a very extreme story. Alright, then my turn again. My secret is work related, so please don't tell anyone. Don't want to get fired. Alright, hold up. I'm gonna guess it right now. He fucked one of the animals. Because if he didn't fuck one of the animals, I don't want to hear about it. Sure. I'm just sitting here like, don't tell me. It wasn't like I knew where he worked anyways. So I wonder if he should be telling me secrets that could cost him his job. Oftentimes I stay late at the zoo after most of the others have left. The ones working the night shift usually don't notice. That sounds relatively harmless so far. I'd often skip dinner when staying at the zoo, so I'd get hungry at night. Why do I hear Mike's stomach? So eventually the intrusive thoughts started. I'd start wondering what the animals at the zoo would taste like. Did you know that seals look chunky, but their meat has less than 2% fat? Also lots of protein. There are also indigenous people who eat parrots. You stay the fuck away from those parrots, Mike. I don't care about the seal, but if you touch them birds, I will fight you, bro. Also heard of people eating tigers somewhere. Anyhow, these thoughts are troubling. I see the animals at the zoo as friends and family. And thinking about eating friends and family is troubling. ... Yeah, that's kind of weirded me out. The longer this secret sharing is going on, the more unsympathetic everyone seems. And the more uncomfortable I'm becoming. But I guess that's what happens when people start sharing their darkest secrets. It's 4 a.m. already. I should take a shower. I'll be gone for a bit. Alright, see you later. Am I done? Oh my god. Alright, so the dark secrets I've gotten so far is thumbtacks in a shoe, fucking watching someone just die, and just thinking about eating animals. I guess the last one's not harmless? I mean, it's harmless as long as he doesn't act on it, but as long as he's not thinking about eating people. That's when you worry. Now I'm showering. The more I think about it, the more I wonder if what they wrote is true. Angie bullied and physically hurt someone. Blaze let someone die. And Mike is thinking about eating the animals he works with. Mike's just weird. The other two I'm worried about. Those were pretty shocking stories. I don't know. But would they be sharing them with an almost stranger like me? Were they playing a prank on me? I got an achievement and it says you showered. Alright. I'm back. Phew, that was nice. So, do I dare open the chat again? I suspect things have become pretty awkward after those confessions. Click, nothing. There we go. It seems like no one had written any new messages since I left. Hey, Amy is back! Welcome back! Hello again! Huh? How could they tell I was back? Full chat doesn't have any online away or offline indications. Alright, with Amy being back, how about we continue? Ma'am, you have shared more Then enough. I think we're good. I'd volunteer to go next. I'd like to share the aftermath of what I experienced on that trip. I trust you're familiar with the concept of natural selection. It's a term popularized by Charles Darwin. The term natural selection is also oftentimes used mockingly whenever someone hurts themselves while doing something unintelligent. Sometimes said unintelligent actions even result in death. Okay. The boy's death I talked about might fit that category. That got me thinking. What if instead of leaving it up to chance, you were to force said natural selection, which would make it less natural, of course. But if I were to do that, I would choose the affected randomly. I would use myself as a standard measure and filter out the ones who were by a big margin inferior to me. I'd very likely be a good judge of a person's capabilities and whether they are justified in living. So I gave it a go, and it was pretty successful. I would research them, come up with a challenge, and warn them of the consequences that await them if they were to fail, and I thought up pretty clever consequences, if I might add. Swimmers who didn't succeed drowned with their arms and feet tied, singers got their vocal cords ripped out, cooks were cooked alive. Despite the challenges being rather easy, in my opinion at least, few survived. The ones who did survive rose to new heights. Do you know Baremi, that bowler who became famous for never missing a strike this year? There was also some commotion about him around him missing 2 fingers out of nowhere. You have me to thank for that. What? He was to have one of his fingers smashed to a pulp with a bowling ball for every strike he missed. He did unfortunately miss 2. The first because he didn't believe my threat. The second because he was too afraid of what would happen the next time he'd miss. Quitting bowling wasn't an option, of course. He'd lose more fingers if he did that. Smash, smash, smash. Using a bowling ball was a bit inefficient, but it did get the point across. Nice. A bit brutal, but if it works, it works. What? What kind of twisted prank is this? I'll go next. This has something to do with the girl who loved running I told you about. Well, putting the tacks into her shoes wasn't the only thing I did. No matter what I did, she wouldn't give up running, and I tried everything. I put laxatives in her food before an important race. I spread nasty rumors about her, like how weird she smelled when she trained because she sweated so much. Eventually, I found one permanent solution to this problem. I invited her to a secluded part of the school building where no one would bother us, and pushed her down the steps. She wasn't too badly hurt. She had only twisted her ankle. Fortunately, I had prepared a sledgehammer in advance. It was pretty heavy, but I managed to lift it and shattered her legs. I brought the hammer down over and over. Why do I hear it? Oh, it's giving me chills. Get rid of it. I could still hear the crunching mixed with her screams. Oh, this is giving me chills. I loved the look on her face when she realized that she'd never be able to run again. Of course, she tried to accuse me, but no one would believe her. There was no evidence, and I was well liked by my teachers and students. So she was called a liar who was jealous of me and probably got into an accident and tried to frame me. That was when I got a taste for destroying other people's dreams. Bitch, what? I felt similarly ecstatic when I stabbed the eardrums of a composer and peeled the skin off a model. I don't know if I should be reading this cutesy anymore. Ha! I'm getting nostalgic. No, that's it. Now I mean, read it cute. I can relate. True, very relatable. This was beyond being a bad prank. This was sick. Alright, let me tell you a story as well. Bitch, log out! This music's just... Taking a sip of my drink. I am freaking the fuck... That... Like... The descriptions was good, but with the audio with it, it's just, I got chills. I don't know what Mike's gonna do. Alright, let me tell you a story as well. At the zoo, there was a penguin that I was really close to. Hung out with him regularly, played a lot with him, was really cute. Was probably my closest friend aside from Angie and Blaze. He also really seemed to like me back. None of the keepers were as close to him as me. Whenever I entered his pen, he'd run up to me right away. He was always so sad when I had to leave. Had been very sad if anything ever happened to that penguin. One night, I stayed in the penguin pen. He had convinced me to sleep over. I was watching him sleep peacefully when the hunger came. I did it. I killed him and ate him. Right there, right then and there, raw. I was crying, but he tasted so good. Then I moved on to a tapir, also one of my best friends. Then a tiger baby. I myself had helped deliver. I ate them all while crying. But the sadder their death was, the better they tasted. Oh, I'm glad the noise went away. Eventually, my curiosity transitioned from the animals to my coworkers. How sad would I be if I ate them? How tasty would they be? No, don't send no cute cat! Alright, this is screwed up. Very screwed up. They all have disturbing imaginations, and I want no part of it. Also, what is up with my headphones? I keep hearing these weird sounds. Alright, I just remembered. Amy, was this your address? Location dot. What the? I guess that's my address. Link. Why do you have this? I made sure to research everyone's address to be able to find a good meeting spot for the in-person event that the most people would not object to. How about we visit Amy now that we're friends? That sounds like a great idea. Fuck no. I'm a bit far away as I'm in America. It might take me a few minutes. Alright, I've had enough. They're seriously creeping me out. There's no reason to keep talking to them while no other classmates have joined. Maybe we can make a new group chat without those three. A message by Liv? I guess she's awake already. Hey, Amy. Hi, Liv. Have you also received the group chat invite from Blaze? They're planning a class reunion, but they're being very weird. An invite? Can't say that I got one. Didn't Blaze say he sent an invite to all our classmates? That's odd. But hey, this reminds me of an urban legend I read recently about some scary group chat message stuff. Let me send you a link. There she goes again with those urban legends and occult stories. You really can't get enough of them. Twitter.com/rockrackgames. Not exactly in the mood for scary stories, but I'll humor Liv. Horrifying chat room. Don't click their invitation. A rumor has been making its rounds recently. Some of our readers have reported getting scary group chat invitations from old acquaintances, distant family, and work colleagues. Don't click on the invite links to those chat invitations under any circumstances. Witness reports speak of 3 different ghosts that can be encountered in said chat rooms. 1. A gluttonous ghost that can't be satiated no matter how much it eats. I think that's supposed to say satisfied, but I don't know. I feel like I have to Google this word. No matter how much it eats, a ghost filled with regret and jealousy that thrives off of destroying other people's happiness. And a ghost that feels superior to everyone and wants to get rid of anyone that it sees as beneath it. So, Mike, Angie, and Blaze. Okay. These invitations usually appear at night and disappear the next day. If it doesn't disappear, then it's likely a legit invitation. If not, then you've been contacted by these ghosts. If you accept their invitation and keep chatting with them, they can enter your home. To avoid them, you need to ignore said invitation until it disappears. Again, don't click on any chat invite links that you receive at night. ... I'm just sitting here like, Fuck! Someone sent a message into the group chat. We're here! We're here! We're here! Oh, this is the ending? Oh! 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 So I just die? That's it! I was hoping for more, like, messages before they actually broke into my house. So, basically, they made me feel bad about where I am at life. And then scarred me for life. And then took my life. Interesting.